everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Rosie and today we are in Delhi, India, and we are currently visiting the Red Fort. So we've just arrived here. One little story I've forgotten. I thought there's, two stories to tell you. My brain's not working, it's early. First thing is that when we were changing metros, as we were coming down the stairs, there was a metro already there, so we kind of jumped on the first carriage that was there. Didn't really look around us or anything. And we were just stood talking to each other, and then 2 minutes later a woman came up to us and was like, this is the ladies' carriage, he's not allowed here. And we were like, oh shit, okay. So we had to move him to the next carriage. And then we realised, like, oh my god, yeah, it's like full of women, there's no men. How did we not realise? I don't know, because there's men everywhere here. And then second story is that when we arrived here, there's like the ticket offices. There's so many birds. But there's the ticket offices and there's different lanes. So there's foreign tourists, and then there's males, and then there's like Indian ladies, Indian gents. So it's interesting how they kind of separate the gender, but then the tourists all go in one column, and there was no one there, which I think goes to show how like empty it is at the moment. We see like 2 white people. I'm being filmed. We see like 2 white people per day, basically. Weird. Sorry, we see like 2 white people per day, and then we keep saying like there's not many white people, like tourists here, and then the fact that there's a whole line for tourists, foreign tourists, and there was no one there, just goes to show how little people there are. Anyway, it's a little bit weird here because I'm always being looked at and stared at and photographed and filmed, and then when you catch them it's weird as well. Anyway, we're at the Red Fort, so I'm excited to show you around. Let's go inside and explore. Okay, so we're currently walking around the outside, so even though we've paid, I think you have to just keep going until a certain entrance until you can actually get inside the fort. But yeah, Jeremy just said to me, like, the contrast between the green and the red there is crazy. And it's such a big fort. It was built in the 17th century by the same person who commissioned the Taj Mahal, apparently. So he must have been a rich person. He could build 2 of the biggest monuments in India, and it's huge. Okay, so this is kind of the main view, I guess, of the fort, but we're not actually in yet. We're still that guy's taking a picture. Maybe he's getting a selfie of himself. No, this guy, I think he's getting a selfie. What do you think? Let me know. Anyway, so we're still kind of walking around to the entrance. So it is super weird walking around here because we're the only white people. So like people will be taking selfies, but they'll wait for us to like walk behind them so that we're in the picture, or they'll just blatantly film us or just blatantly take pictures of us, and it's just like a weird feeling, like you have to kind of dodge the camera all the time. It's like we're famous people or something, but we're not at all. So it is super weird. But anyway, we're about to go actually in now, which will be good. This is the entrance. Okay, so we are finally in the entrance. We had to walk through security gates, and the woman in the women's section was just sat on her phone, didn't even look at us. But I will say, rather than getting off at Lal Kila, go to Jama Masjid or something, the one before, because that's actually closer to the entrance. So I'd recommend doing that. Anyway, we're about to go in. It is beautiful. So many gorgeous shapes and details, and obviously the colour. I love this colour. There's some sleeping puppies. I think that's probably Mama, I don't know. Anyway, look at this, what a beaut. Okay, I've got you on wide angle and you can only just about see everything. This is like the main entrance, I guess. I was just behind this wall behind me taking photographs, but it is beautiful, so much detail. I love the flag at the top and really cool. Anyway, let's go in. Okay, so walking through the gates, there's this, which I really wasn't expecting. It's almost like a hall, and there's lots of different shops and things available. So like this person is selling fabrics. Sorry, the light is making it flash. But the details, like those scalloped edges, it's so pretty. And then the ceiling through there as well. I'm looking forward to seeing that properly. And this is the roof. And then there's like shops either side. Beautiful. So here's some of the shops here, selling bags, jewellery, caps, things like that. So I've just gone through that bit with the shops, and I thought this was interesting. So this used to be a bazaar, which is what it is now. So we thought it was just tourist shops selling stuff, but actually it's always been like that. So you can pause that if you want to read it properly. But it's super interesting that there's always been shops through there. share my real experience because me and Jeremy both feel a little bit stressed because we're constantly being photographed and filmed. Even if somebody says, can I have a selfie, and we say no, they still just photograph us anyway. Like Jeremy had to go up to this guy and be like, can you stop photographing us, because he just kept taking pictures of us with his kids, even without our permission. So it's just like, I don't know, obviously we're not being attacked, it just feels like we are, because like everybody's looking, everybody's staring, everybody's like photographing and videoing us. And as much as the building is beautiful, it's hard to enjoy it when we feel like, I don't know. It's weird, and I kind of want to be honest with you because this is obviously our experience. It might be different for you, but it's less enjoyable than I thought it would be, because just with the amount of attention we're getting literally because of the colour of our skin. So, never mind. Okay, so we have now come to this section which is full of archways, and each one of the top is scalloped edge like that. It's beautiful. So pretty. And then this side is the building where we just were, which was also gorgeous. Spaces for water in all the other temples, and apparently water from the local stream would be placed here, and then the water would run through all the palaces and provide some cool air basically on the interiors of the palaces. So I think that's where it would be deposited, and then it would run down there and then go along there and all the way down into the buildings down that side that we saw earlier. This is what it says if you want to actually read that. You can pause the video. But the buildings here are so decorative and so ornate. So some more information here about the tea house, the heritage tea house. Again, if you want to pause the video, you can do. It's hard for me to read out all of the information at these sort of day trips. And this is the beautiful view. This place is absolutely huge. Like insanely big. Okay, so we have finished at the Red Fort. We're sort of on our way out. We're still in the complex, but we're not completely out. There's some rides here that we thought were just like really old and just haven't been moved. It's open and all the rides are going, some of which I definitely wouldn't, like you couldn't pay me to get on them, like no way. They look horrific. It's still busy. It's actually busier than it was earlier, so I'd recommend getting here as early as possible. We're still having lots of people taking our photo and video and things, which just makes me feel really uncomfortable, but it is what it is. Basically, it's now 11:45 and the mosque, I think it's a mosque, isn't it? Mosque or temple we wanted to go to closes from 12 till 1:30, so we've basically got an hour and a half, now and 45 minutes to kill. So I think we're going to go to Old Delhi, have a look around some of the, I think the spice market's there, I think there's clothes there. I'm not really sure, so we're going to go to the old part of town and probably get some lunch as well. Okay, so we're trying to photograph us again, so we're going to go. Right, that's it. Bye. On a cycle rickshaw. Jeremy is not impressed. It's an hour for €2, so I was like, okay. So we are back at the hotel. It's actually 10:15, so it's actually quite late. But I kind of wanted to talk about today because we went to the Red Fort and I kind of tried to film as much as I felt comfortable filming. I was also taking photographs. I was also trying to relax and enjoy it, honestly. We had a couple of encounters that were just a little bit odd, like people photographing us and filming us and like would ask for a selfie. I would say no, and then they would just photograph me anyway. There was a couple of times that Jane went up to people and was like, can you stop fucking photographing us? Like, because it just got overwhelming, and it got to the point where we were both a little bit anxious and like stressed and like almost felt targeted. I don't know if I definitely talked about it. I don't know if I would have left it in the video because it sounds a little bit like, oh, boo-hoo, poor me kind of thing. And like nothing bad happened, but it was just that like we were being stared at, we were constantly being approached, constantly being like photographed and filmed. And when we're just trying to like enjoy our day, like we're not celebrities, we're not like anything, whatever, it was just a little bit unexpected and threw us off a little bit. So we didn't fully enjoy the Red Fort, honestly, especially at the beginning when there was a lot of people there. I think sort of towards the end we were kind of a little bit further away, like I don't know, everybody kind of gathers at the same points. When it was busy it was annoying, but otherwise it was fine. Really beautiful building. I really enjoyed it. Like I said though, I couldn't fully enjoy it because it was constant like, oh, that person's filming me, oh, they've just taken a photograph of me, oh, why are they walking over here, what do they want to ask me about? Or like it was just kind of like looking at everybody else rather than the architecture a little bit, which is a shame, but that was kind of my experience. And by the way, I want to say it's hard for me to kind of share my real experience because I think a lot of the time, like I was kind of saying before I came to India, that people shouldn't share their bad experiences because just because something bad happens to one person doesn't mean it's going to happen to everybody, and it can put people off going to certain countries if you tell certain stories. So like I was kind of a bit adamant at the beginning, like, oh, people shouldn't tell their, you know, bad things that happen. And not that anything bad happened, but it's always, I don't like to put a negative impression in someone's mind before they've been to visit it themselves. And I think you should go and visit wherever you want to visit by yourself without other people's kind of ideas of what you think it's going to be. But at the same time, having lived today, I do think it's important to be aware that things might happen and that you might feel really uncomfortable, and it's part of travel and it happens with lots of different reasons why you're traveling. But in particular today I found tough. So do with that as you will. Obviously still go to India. I'm not trying to say don't come to India, but it just might be a little bit different to what you're used to, let's say. So anyway, went to the Red Fort, took some photographs, tried to get some videos as well to show you guys and kind of remember for myself as well. We left there about 12, and then at but the mosque that we wanted to go to was closed between 12 and 1:30, so we were like, okay, we've got an hour and a half, let's go and get some food. So we did. I'm going to pop on screen the food that we got. It was delicious. We got a big plate between the two of us and some naan breads and things like that. Just kind of down one of the side streets in Old Delhi. So that was really cool. Again, like there was just some guy that worked at the restaurant who just literally sat and watched me eat the whole time. Like just did not take his eyes off me. And it's interesting, like I'm used to being stared at from like vlogging and also from traveling around Asia, and just like generally from vlogging I get stared at a lot, but I wasn't even particularly vlogging today. And it's still uncomfortable to be stared at. So it's a different kind of staring. It's not, anyway. Had lunch, really delicious. We then kind of went for a walk around, and I'd read in the Lonely Planet guide like a day or two ago that one of the good things to do in India is to get a cycle rickshaw tuk tuk thing around Old Delhi. So I thought, oh, can we do that? So Jeremy said, yeah. So we got on, and this guy said it'd be 1 hour for 200 rupees. It was actually really cool and like noisy and like lots of different people. We'd go down side streets and things, but it actually lasted around 35, probably 40 minutes maximum. And we only had a 500 rupees note, so we gave it to him, and he gave us 100 back, and we were like, no, you said 200. He said 200, 200, and we were like, that's not what we agreed. You said 200 for an hour. And he was like, oh, 200, 200, that's it. And he gave us 100 back, and that was it. And we tried to argue with him and tried to be like, no, that's not what you said, that's not fair. And he was having none of it and walked off basically. So we were like, okay, F you. And it's really annoying that like there's been a couple of times on our travels where like we agree on a price, and then when it comes to pay they rip you off, and it's just like it's just frustrating that people try and do that. But then the rest of the time, like with food, everything's been fine. Like a lot of everything else we've not been ripped off with, apart from like touristy things like that. Anyway, I enjoyed the experience. It was just twice as much as we expected to pay, which when you're on a budget and you're traveling is not ideal, but that's fine. He can just enjoy that money. Anyway, so it got to 1:30, and it's a little 1:15. We decided to walk to the mosque, and we got there, and it was kind of busy getting there as well. It was kind of not crazy, but it was definitely overwhelming. I was like holding on to Jeremy's hand a lot of the time, and I was scared to get separated from him. Got there, and there's like these big steps and this huge big mosque at the top, and it looked beautiful. It's kind of like on a bit of a hill. So I got there, got some videos, took our shoes off, we're about to walk in, and we were told that it's free for Indian people to go in, and you have to pay 300 if you're a foreign tourist, which we'd looked online, and it says it's free to get in, but it's 300 per person if you want to take photographs. So we were like, okay, fine, we'll just go in for free. Turns out they wouldn't let us in, and we had to pay 300, but because we spent so much money on, like twice as much as we thought on the Tuk Tuk, we didn't have enough money for both of us to go in and then also to get back using the metro. So we basically waited an hour and a half so that we can go in this mosque, and then we couldn't go in the end. So took our shoes off, tried to get in, couldn't get in, and then put our shoes back on and left again. Ended up walking through this really big market to get to the train station to then come home. So I got home, and I think I was just so overwhelmed. I slept for like an hour and a half or 2 hours. I had a really, really big nap. Then I've been getting work done and all the rest of it. But it's just been a bit of an experience today, and I just thought I would come on and kind of explain why probably today's vlog was a little bit shit. In terms of like, I didn't really talk to the camera. I kind of got clips here and there. I still feel uncomfortable. It's interesting. I feel like where we're staying right now is in the tourist area, which I think I've said in a previous vlog, like you would never think this is the tourist area. You think this is like the side streets and somewhere you shouldn't really go because it's hectic. But I feel like people here are kind of used to seeing white people, so it's fine. They just they look at you, but they let you get on with your day. But at the Red Fort, I don't know if it was like, we were the only white people there, and I wonder if all the other tourists were from different parts of India where they don't maybe see white people as often, and that's why they were so like, oh my god, a white person. But like I couldn't imagine ever walking up to a black person and being like, oh my god, can I have your photograph because you've got black skin? Or like in England going to an Indian person or whatever. Like I just would never do that. So it was interesting to have that done to me, something I would not do to other people. And I know that like they only mean good intent, and it's only because they like the colour of our skin or whatever it is. Like it's not in a bad way, like they weren't attacking us or being horrible. But it just did make me feel really uncomfortable when you've got like men filming me and photographing me. In particular, I found men weird. So yeah, bit of an odd day. It kind of put us off a little bit coming back here, because initially we were thinking we would go to all the other places, then maybe come back here for a week, and now we're thinking maybe we'll not do that. I don't know, we'll see. There's still, I think tomorrow we're going to go to Akashram or something like that. It's a big temple, I think, and then there's also Hunyan something tomb that we haven't been to. So I definitely want to go to that next time we come back here. I just don't know if we're going to stay a week. It might just be like 2 nights instead. Interesting. And also I kind of want to talk about this as well. It's interesting here because I think there's a lot of things that are just culturally very different. And even though we've just spent a month in Sri Lanka, I was kind of expecting it to be similar, but it's kind of not, honestly. And I think the main thing is people smiling. So like in Sri Lanka, people would have like a really straight face, especially men. I would find them to have a really straight face and sort of look at you like as you're walking past. But if I smile to them, they would then crack a smile and then it looks, you know, they look happy and they look fine. Whereas here, you smile at people and they just carry on with a blank stare. Like no one smiles here. And it's the weirdest thing to like, I'm quite a smiley person and I actually really enjoy smiling at strangers and then getting a smile back and having that like quick little connection, and like you then feel less threatened by each other because you've kind of had that like smile interaction. I know it sounds weird, but then here, like in the subway, if there's like we just stood on the metro and you can just look down the metro and see just like 10 sets of eyes staring, and if I try and smile back at them, they just like continue just staring like straight face. So I found that quite weird as well and hard, because like I think a smile between two people that can't otherwise communicate, like if they can't speak my language, I can't speak theirs, maybe they do speak English, I don't know, but like it can just do, like a smile can do so much. But then when people don't smile back at you, it's kind of intimidating. You're like, oh God, okay, sorry, shouldn't have smiled then. Anyway, and then for dinner tonight, we went back to the place that we went to a couple of nights ago. I didn't end up vlogging it a couple of nights ago because I think I had a migraine or something, I don't remember now. But it's really, really good. I'll pop that on screen as well so you can see. But we had a mushroom, whatever it is, a paneer, whatever it is, and also a soya, like a tofu one or something. And it's absolutely delicious. I'll try and leave the information in the description box down below, so if you're ever in this area you can go and eat there as well, because it's really, really, really good. Like the best food we've had definitely here, probably in Sri Lanka as well. So in the past sort of 6-ish weeks, it's the best food we've had. Really, really good. Anyway, like I said, tomorrow we're going to have a day trip. That's Wednesday, and then Thursday we are going to Agra, which is where the Taj Mahal is. So the vlog is going to carry on tomorrow. I'll do a new vlog tomorrow. So yeah, that's it for today. Still getting used to it all. I'm hoping that Agra and then Jaipur and Jodhpur and Rishikesh are a lot more chill. We shall see. Oh, I really want to come on here and have like fun videos, but today just was not the one. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section down below, as always, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Oh, I just popped myself in the eye. Bye.